Hello, beautiful people. My name's Kristen. Thank you for stopping by for reviews of the things, the books, the adventures of bookishness that happened the end of July. It was a lot of fun. I kind of got done with my TBR and then got to throw in a couple of extra bonus fun things. For instance, I had bought at Barnes and Noble's this tabletop coffee table book, whatever you call these things, travel guide on Ireland. It has a lot of information and a lot of great pictures. Obviously, it doesn't take you a ton of time. I read it in a day and I took lots of notes, and I had already kind of done an itinerary. I plan to go here no time soon, but it is on my bucket list. So I went through and found some new things and just discovered all kinds of additional information about the land, enjoyed the picture, felt like I took a little mini vacation, right? And I think this was like a $10 clearance kind of thing at Barnes and Noble's that I had picked up, and it was fun to pick it up and just read it. Now, I also was gifted by my mother-in-law books by her cousin. So these books are a series, the first and the follow-up by Sharon Sirrocco, and these are memoir kind of spiritual diaries over the course of her life and several illnesses. She discovered very early on in her life that she had diabetes. She also had to have a transplant. She went through cancer. It just so much stuff, and just how she dealt with it, how she kept her spiritual foundation through it, and just the lessons that came out of that. So just really, really fun. This one's bunches and piles and heaps, oh my, and then bumps in the road ahead. So if you know somebody who's maybe going through some illnesses or some hard times, particularly if they have a faith basis, there's a lot of really inspiring stories as well as scripture and encouragement. So it would be a great gift, and they're small and easy to read in the sense of length, right? So I got to pick up that and read those, and that was amazing. I did get to Empire of the Summer Moon by S.C. Gwynne. This was a book that I just wanted to read and had been recommended to me in the past. Wasn't really on my original mugs or TBR, but I got to it. It is the same author who wrote Rebel Yell that I also read this summer. So this book is very hard reading. It is the story of the Comanches, and particularly the Parker family that was mostly massacred, but 7 of them were taken captive by the Comanches, and then like 3 of those had at least letters or journals about their experiences. A 9-year-old girl who was captured became the wife of a prominent member in the Comanche tribe, and then had a warrior son, and actually did not want to be rescued. She did not want to go back to the white man's ways after she had invested so much of her time and life and was having children now as Comanche. So fascinating, heartbreaking, and these guys are fierce. I had kind of heard rumor that the Comanches were the fiercest, and you can leave me a comment if you disagree or know of others, but their philosophy, their kind of way of life, if you will, is that like pain and torture and death is part of the cycle and honorable, and they kind of in their mind anticipate that this is how they're going to end up, and they have no qualms about doing this to others, other tribes, other settlers, whatever. They're ferocious and they are fearless, and you do learn a lot and have a lot of respect for that, but it's very cringy at times just thinking about the brutality that went both ways, right? So awesome trip into history. This is everywhere from down into Mexico, across Texas, Oklahoma, and up into Nebraska area. So that part of the country is, his part of history that you like. Highly recommend it. Really great writing. I did get to The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. This was my new release that I pulled out of my mug, and it's a very, this lighthearted would be difficult to call it that, in the sense that it is a woman who has lost her husband to Alzheimer, and then it goes back and forth in time, revisiting things and reliving things and letting us see past things, and then her current situation and what's going on. And there's some humor that I laughed out loud, but it's a very poignant book, I guess would be a good word. It's dealing with the grief and the loss and moving on in a very almost I mean, she's starting to like explore what it's like to maybe have a new relationship, or what that could look or feel like. And so there's a lot of deep emotions with some humor and some easy style reading, if that makes sense. So I really enjoyed it. I thought this was really a great book. And speaking of great books, we're going to end on a high note. Kate Morton's The Forgotten Garden. It's like historical fiction, because it does deal with a lot of the important historical events that happen in Ireland. This is a kind of a found family kind of story. The main first girl that we're kind of following is a young girl who isn't old enough to have clear memories. She just has these vague memories of who she is, where she came from. She gets adopted by another family who has kind of found her literally afloat on a boat without clear knowing who she is. Adopts her, doesn't want to give her back or search for her roots. She starts to find out what the real truth is. Then there's a story about her daughter and her granddaughter. So you have 3 generations. You have 3 timelines, and then it goes back and forth. I had to keep on kind of checking notes to follow, and every once in a while I'd be really wrapped up in one timeline and then be a little bit put out that we were going back to another timeline. But I understood it once I got to the end and put it together, and I thought that was fun. I thought it was fun trying to figure out what exactly was happening and who was going to figure out what, and how were things going to come up. And there is a forgotten library, kind of, you know, a nod even to The Secret Garden if you're growing up in that time period like I was with that childhood book. So really fun. There is a very strong mystery element of, you know, kind of missing persons, kind of what happened, what was the family scandals, all those kind of things. So you have family drama, found family, just really a really good solid book. I look forward to reading more by this author. So those are the books that I read at the end of July. I am super excited about my August reading. Leave me a comment if you've read any of these books, if you want to read any of these books now, or if you're feeling like there's something you're reading that you think I should look at. I love those comments too. I love checking into the new books. I hope that you are having an awesome summer, and happy reading, y'all. Take care.